the theme song to James Bond, and this is how it. Then there's this high part right here.
All right, Verona's out. She's
gone.
Oh, she's back.
Verona, shoot the camera.
Blood.
Back.
Wait, maybe I can do the thing.
Take off your clothes.
Wait.
Sorry.
And go.
Exterior, top of dam, day. A plane does a flyover, a dam, as a security gate slides open. A woman in combat blacks runs across the top of the dam. She clips a rope to her ankle and the railing and jumps off the side. As she sails down, she pulls out a gun-type thing and shoots. A wire follows, attaching in concrete and pulling the woman down to Archangel Chemical Weapons Facility, USSR. Cut to a laser burning through a metal wall, being shot by the woman with the gun thing. We see a blue eye, but we haven't seen this woman's face yet. Interior bathroom, day. Inside the plant, we cut to the woman's room, where we see Russians walking around. Above one of the stalls, we see looking down on a Soviet in uniform, sitting on the can, reading a newspaper titled Pravda, the truth. The woman in black takes the steel grate out, and we see her silhouette. From the Soviet's point of POV, we see the newspaper. She pulls the paper back to reveal Jane Bond. Hanging upside down from a vent, she flashes a grin.
Beg your pardon. Forgot to knock.
007 punches out the Soviet and slips down. Interior hallway, same time. Bond slips unnoticed through dim walls, wielding her Walther PPK with a silencer on it. She spots a butcher loading meat onto a cart, and she walks up to an opening where she sees soldiers eating. As she turns away, another dark shadow points a gun at her and speaks in Russian. As always, subtitled dialogue is done with a southern accent.
Where have you been? Where are your companions?
I'm alone.
Alex Trevelyan, 006, steps into the light. She's around Bond's general age and build, blonde with cold eyes.
Aren't we all? You're late, 007.
I had to stop in the bathroom.
Ready to save the world again?
After you, 006.
They remove another steel grate.
Jane, for England.
For England, Alex.
Interior hall, day. Bond's blue eyes spot someone in the hall. Waiting till the coast is clear, she jumps out of the vent in the floor while Alex climbs out. Both women walk down the hall. Alex enters a laboratory with a plate glass window and shoots the guy inside. Meanwhile, Bond has a device plugged into an ID card slot with a number pad under it. She waits for a click, and the door unlocks. Both women walk inside. Interior gas room, day. A room filled with nerve gas tanks.
It's too easy.
Half of everything is luck, Jane.
Alex turns and plugs the device into the same panel, jamming the door.
And the other half?
Fate.
A red light sounds, signaling the alarm of the plant. The women run down the stairs.
Set timers to 6 minutes.
6 minutes, check.
A few Soviets burst through a door. 006 shoots them. Bond starts to arm a little explosive timer. A digital clock pops up. 6 minutes. Jane and Alex scurry around behind the gas tanks, planting the timers. An ugly-looking Soviet commander, Urmov, stands behind a plexiglass window.
There!
Soldiers fire their guns, breaking the window. 006 and 007 are still planting the timers.
Closing time, Jane. Last call.
Buy me a pint.
The Soviets pour through the opening. Trevelyan fires at them.
I am Colonel Oromov. Come out with your hands above your heads.
Bond continues planting a timer.
How original.
More Soviets pour through a door.
Shut the door, Alex. There's a draft.
No answer.
Alex?
She looks for 006. Alex is kneeling under the gun of Urmov. 30 soldiers all have their guns pointed at Bond.
Move out. Throw down your weapons and walk towards me. Slowly.
Finish the job, Jane. Blow them all to hell.
You have 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8...
Bond goes back to the detonator she just planted and sets it for 3 minutes.
7, 6, 5, 4...
Bond throws her weapon on the floor, puts her hands behind her head, and approaches Urmov.
3, 2...
For England, Jane.
Bang! Alex is silenced. She flops over. The Soviet soldiers fire their automatic rifles. Bond retreats behind the tanks again.
Hold your fire! You'll blow the gas tanks!
They do. Bond recovers her gun.
This is your last chance. Come out with your hands above your head.
Uramov's POV. A dark shadow moves behind a cart with tanks piled on it. The soldiers raise their guns.
Wait!
Bond moves slowly with the cart, acting as a shield. Uramov seems amused. One soldier thinks she can get a shot off and fires. Bond retreats farther behind the cart. Uramov turns and shoots the woman in the face. She warned her.
You can't win.
Bond quickly hits the on button to a conveyor belt leading outside. She jumps on and fires the assault rifle. The Soviets fire back, but Bond hits the grate to a storage area above their heads. More gas tanks pour out on the Soviets, and Bond tumbles down the conveyor belt onto exterior runway, day. Bond sees a small plane. His ticket out of here. More soldiers burst through a hangar door, and even more pour out onto the runway. Bond crouches behind some piping and fires, hitting a few. The gun runs out, and she dashes toward the snow. She dashes through the snow toward the plane. We hear Uramov shouting in the background.
Hold your fire!
Cut to 1,000 yards out. The facility is on a mountaintop. Cliffs very high up. Back to the action. Bond runs down the plane and drags herself inside, fighting with the pilot. Now there's a soldiers chasing Bond on motorcycles. Both 007 and the pilot tumble out of the plane. A motorcycle runs over the pilot, causing the bike to throw its rider. Bond jumps on the bike and chases the runway plane.
Wait!
The plane sails off the cliff, and so does the motorcycle with 007 still on it. She flies off the bike and sails to the dive-bombing plane. She grabs the open door and pulls herself inside and into the pilot's seat. The stick's not responding. Bond starts to panic. Then the plane finally soars upward as the chemical weapons facility explodes. Fade up on title sequence. Goldeneye, sung by Tina Turner. Interior car, exterior road, day. We shoot onto an open road with the vroom of an engine behind us. Jane's personal choice of car. A silver Aston Martin DB5 swerves around a tight corner at 90 miles per hour. Fade up title, 9 years later. Bond, of course, is behind the wheel, and a young man sits beside her, visibly agitated. His name is Colin, but it doesn't come up.
Jane, is this really necessary to drive quite so fast?
More often than you'd think.
A red Ferrari comes into view in the rearview mirror.
I enjoy a spirited ride as much as the next lad.
Jane flashes an intoxicating grin as the Ferrari pulls up beside her. There's a beautiful dark-haired man behind the wheel. Jane loves this.
Who's that?
The next lad.
The Ferrari passes her and plays a little road rash, nearly crashing into an oncoming tractor, spinning out of the way. Jane is loving every minute. Colin is now really pissed off.
Jane, stop this. Stop it. I know what you're doing.
Really? What's that, dear?
You're just trying to show off the size of your
Engine?
ego.
Here we are having a pleasant drive in the country, and you've got to bring psychology into it.
Well, I was just sent out here to evaluate you.
Oh, let us try and put that behind us, shall we?
The DB5 and Ferrari are still doing 90 around a corner when a pack of cyclists are pedaling up the hill. 007 lets the car pass her.
Gentlemen first.
Colin seems to be praying. The red Ferrari brushes past the first biker, knocking her down, and the rest fall over in succession. Colin's had enough.
Jane, I want you to stop this car.
Really?
Stop this car at once.
Jane pulls the brake and the car screeches to a halt. She puts her arm around him.
As you can see, I have no problem with male authority.
She flips open a box with 2 glasses and a bottle of Bollinger champagne in it. Colin looks pleased for once.
Jane, you're incorrigible. What am I going to do with you?
She moves in closer.
Let's toast your evaluation, shall we?
They kiss.
A very thorough evaluation.
He giggles. They
Oh,
kiss and we
my.
pan up on the skyline of Monte Carlo. Exterior posh party, night. The Aston Martin DB5 drives up to an elegant-looking hotel with a parking valet.
Good evening, Miss Bond. Nice to see you tonight.
Good evening, Claire. How are things?
You're French.
Very good. And you?
Bond steps out of the DB5 looking dashing as usual in a tailored tuxedo, her black hair combed back. She spots the red Ferrari. Parked. She entered the casino. Interior hotel casino night. Bond enters a ritzy lobby and nears a baccarat table. The dealer and a couple of people sit around playing.
Except à la banque. Madame wins.
We pan up on the driver of the expensive Italian sports car in the parking lot, in a black suit. His name is Maxim Onatop.
Mademoiselle, messieurs, ladies and gentlemen, players.
Bond sits down at the table as Maxim is lighting up a cigar.
Bonko.
They proceed to play the game.
It appears we share the same passions. Well, 3, anyway.
I count 2. Motoring and, baccarat.
He shows his cards.
8 à la banque.
Bond shows her cards.
7. Madame wins.
I hope the 3rd is where your real talent lies.
1 rises to meet the challenge.
They place their bets.
Table.
Suivi.
The dealer nods her head and passes cards. Bond looks at them.
Carte.
Maxim shows his cards.
Sir stands with 5.
Bond shows her cards.
6. Sir loses.
Maxim is obviously mad.
Oh, damn it. Enjoy while it lasts.
The very words I live by.
He gets up from the table. Jane follows.
And, what words do you live by?
The trick is to quit while you're still ahead.
It's one trick I never learned.
She signals for a waiter to come over.
Perhaps you'll show me how it's done.
The waiter approaches them.
Vodka martini. Shaken, not stirred. And for you,
The same.
Bond is intrigued.
how do you take it?
Straight up, with a twist.
The waiter scurries away. Maxim fingers his cigar.
Ah, thank you, Miss
The name's Bond. Jane Bond.
Maxim Zarganev Onatop.
We know what Bond's thinking.
On a top.
Onatop.
Your accent. Georgian?
Very good, Miss Bond. You've been to Russia.
Not recently. I used to drop in occasionally. Shoot in and out.
It's very different now, the land of opportunity.
With a new Ferrari in every garage?
No, not quite. That belongs to a friend.
I tipped your friend. The French registration plates for this year's model start with a letter L, even the counterfeit ones.
Maxim is startled.
Oh, and what rank do you hold with the motor vehicles department, Miss Bond?
Commander.
Now a woman steps up to Maxim. She's balding with red hair. Looks like a Canadian admiral.
Should we go?
This one is an admiral.
I like a man who enjoys pulling rank.
Nice to meet you, Miss Bond.
He sounds really annoyed, and he storms away with the Canadian. Bond watches him.
The pleasure, I'm sure, was all mine.
Exterior amphitheater, night. People are gathered on stone benches in an open amphitheater watching 2 ladies perform an act. Meanwhile, Bond is walking up the stone stairs to the top of the theater, overlooking water. Bond's POV. The Ferrari pulls up, and Maxim and the Admiral get out. Bond takes out a camera thing from her pocket. We all know it's more than just a little camera. Zooming in, she takes a picture of Maxim boarding a motorboat. To take him and the Canadian over to a yacht, Bond takes a picture of the name of the boat, Manticore, and walks back to her DB5. Exterior DB5. Interior DB5, night. Before Bond gets into her car, she notices a very sophisticated, stealthy helicopter perched on top of a battleship. She gets in her car and pushes a button on the stereo, a piece of paper with the info of the picture she just took. A voice starts. It's Moneypenny. Bond looks at the pictures.
Transmission begins from Moneypenny. Identification confirmed. Onatop, Maxim. Ex-Soviet fighter pilot. Current suspected links to the Janus crime syndicate, St. Petersburg. Yacht Manticore is leased to a known Janus corporate front. M authorizes you to observe Mr. Onatop, but stipulates no contact with prior approval. End transmission. Moneypenny. Good night, Jane. I trust you'll stay on a top of things.
Bond smirks. She knows exactly what he means. So do we. Interior yacht, Manticore, night. Maxim literally jumps on the Admiral. He's in some black lingerie. They kiss ferociously. He bites her. Then he whispers something, flips her over, and crushes her ribcage with his legs. The Admiral is in a lot of pain.
Maxim, I can't breathe.
Maxim grins and squeezes harder. He is getting off on this. A hand reaches into the Admiral's coat, which is draped over a chair, and pulls out her Department of Defense ID card.
Yes!
Exterior bay, day. A motorboat speeds through the water. Exterior yacht, Manticore, day. Bond waits for a man in a striped shirt to pass before she jumps onto the deck of the yacht. She walks toward a sliding glass door, opens it, and enters. Interior yacht, Manticore Day. Bond makes her way to a window where she sees the motorboat speeding to the battleship with the chopper on the deck. Something's going on over there. She looks down into a brass doorknob and sees the reflection of a guy in a striped shirt coming at her. Bond spins around with a towel and knocks him down the stairs by wrapping the towel around his head. 007 wipes her face with the towel. Exterior battleship Day. Across the bay, cars let off Naval, Army, and Air Force officers of different countries, as well as their escorts. A gloved hand shows the Admiral ID card for the Department of National Defense. We're pretty sure it isn't the Admiral. A band plays. Officers mill around. The captain salutes the Admiral.
My respects, Admiral.
The officer kisses the hand of Maxim, who is standing beside the Admiral.
Delighted to have you on board, monsieur.
An MC starts to talk.
Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seats on the upper deck for the demonstration of the aircraft.
Interior yacht, Day. Bond is still looking around the boat, this time with the Walther drawn. She bursts through a door, looks in the cabinet. She's in a bedroom now. Jane opens the closet door and the dead body of Admiral Charlene Farrell falls stiffly to the floor, naked. Bond is a little stunned. Exterior yacht, Day. Bond hops into a motorboat docked beside the yacht. She starts it up and drives toward the warship. Exterior battleship, Day. We see the chopper up close now. Air-to-air missiles, heat seekers, guns up the wazoo, the whole 9 yards.
What you are about to see in operation is Europe's answer to the electronic battlefield. The first working prototype of the Tiger helicopter. Uniquely maneuverable, the Tiger not only uses stealth technology, it is also the only helicopter to be hardened against all forms of electronic interference, radio jamming, and electromagnetic radiation.
Interior hall, Day. 2 pilots in blue flight suits, clutching helmets, make their way outside to the chopper. They are stopped by Maxim, wearing a vest. He whistles to get their attention. Let's turn, speaks seductively.
I have a small surprise from your friends back at the barracks.
One pilot turns to the other and grins.
I think I've gone to heaven.
Not yet.
He whips out a pistol and shoots both of them. Maxim is shown next wearing one of the blue flight suits and the helmet with the visor down. Exterior landing pad, Day.
Now, let's welcome the pilots, Lieutenant Commander Bernard de Jobert and Lieutenant Francois Brou.
The pilots wave and board the helicopter. Bond is now on the warship, running toward the Tiger, but she is pushed against the wall by 2 burly guards. They all watch the Tiger take off. Fade out. Exterior, northern Russia, evening. A dog team runs through the snow where, fade up title, Space Weapons Control Center, Severnaya, Russia, a desolate area. Wind blowing snow around a building with a huge satellite dish on top of it. Interior Weapons Center, evening. A bunch of monitors, computers, electronic map of the world occupy the area. We hear a voice.
Select mirror, autographic projection.
We pan to the right to reveal Nikolai.
Compute possible intercept with second stage Geoset 2.
Show the monitor. Up pops a window. Enter password, along with a graphic of a man in a bikini. Nikolai sighs at a woman nearby in a chair, playing with a pen like an idiot. Leather jacket, greasy hair, wire-rimmed glasses. This program was obviously designed by this woman.
Anatoly.
Anatoly looks up from her monitor and is obviously disgusted.
You would know a man if one came up and sat on her head.
Nikolai laughs.
Olga.
Olga is still playing with the pen.
Olga!
What?
He signals to his monitor.
I thought it posted on the internet, no?
What's the password?
I made it easy this time. Even you should be able to break it, Bosch for brains. All right. I give you a hint. It's right in front of you, and it can open very large doors.
He types in knob.
You're such a geek.
We hear an alarm. They turn to Olga's computer.
Yes! I mean...
She rolls over to her PC and grins.
You've hacked into the U.S. Department of Justice. You know what will happen if they trace it here.
The chief of computers will call me a genius and move me to Moscow and give me $1 million hard currency. I think not. Besides, the Americans are slugheads. They'll never detect me.
Up pops a window. Unauthorized access detected.
You're saying slughead?
She types something, and up pops a window. Send spike.
Spike them!
Come on, God.
No way! I spiked them!
Initiate search program. Enter password.
All right. What's the password?
I'm going to tell you.
Okay. Let me guess. It's not in front of me?
Olga shakes her head.
You sit on it, but you can't take it with you.
Olga types in 5 characters. A map pops up on screen. A red line connects cities.
My program seizes the phone line of whoever's tracing me and jams their modem so they get hung up. Now the hunted becomes the hunter.
An FBI screen pops up.
Woo!
She types.
Better luck next time, slugheads. Bam! Gone! I am invincible!
Olga leaps up triumphantly with her arms in the air. Other technicians just look at her. She turns to Nikolai.
Was it good for you too?
He's annoyed with her.
I'm getting some coffee.
He walks away.
I'm going for a cigarette.
Exterior facility. Evening. A sliding door opens and Olga outside with a parka on. Brr, it's cold. She bites a beat-up cigarette and lights a Zippo. The lighter blows out and Olga looks up and sees the Tiger helicopter fighting the wind, landing in the snow. The cockpit opens. Maxim and Uramov jump out. Interior, Severnaya, kitchen, evening. Nikolai is getting a cup of coffee. Interior hallway, evening. Maxim and Uramov walk down a hallway and stop at a little box on the wall. A voice identification system.
General Arcadia Gregora Oromov, head of Space Division.
A door opens. Maxim and Uramov enter. Interior, Severnaya control room, evening. A soldier hurries to address the general. She salutes.
General, if I'd known.
You'd have been ready. This is an unscheduled test of the Severnaya facility major, war simulation. We are going to test via Goldeneye. Report the status.
2 operational satellites, sir. Petya and Misha, both in 90-minute Earth orbit at 100 kilometers.
Good.
She takes out an authority card.
Here is the authorization code. Now, the Goldeneye and today's access numbers for the satellite Petya, please.
She looks at her watch.
I am timing you.
The major scurries away, slides the card through a slot, and presses her hand on an ID pad. The metal wall opens, revealing a square disc with a large golden crystal in the center. The Goldeneye. The major takes the Goldeneye and 2 keys from its safe and hands them to the general.
Good. Thank you, Major.
Nikolai notices something is going on from his position in the kitchen. Maxim cocks an automatic rifle and shoots every technician in the room. He is visibly enjoying himself, moaning like he's getting off. Nikolai is still in the kitchen and scared to death. Bodies of his coworkers lay everywhere. Uramov walks toward a large control panel and slides the Goldeneye in a slot and hands a key to Maxim. They slide the keys in.
On my count, 3, 2, 1.
They turn the keys at the same time. It activates the electronic map on the wall.
Set target, Severnaya.
Maxim types in something. Russia lights up in red.
Arm the weapon.
He types once again. Uramov flips the plastic cover and twists the red dial inside. Space! A satellite in orbit breaks off its protective cover. CCCP is printed on the side. Interior control room, evening. Maxim types in a firing code. Space! The satellite spreads its thrusters. Interior control room, evening. An alarm sounds. Weapon armed. They hear a noise, and Nikolai runs back into the kitchen.
Check it.
Maxim grabs his gun and runs down to a person who managed to send a distress signal. He shoots him again. Interior kitchen, evening. Nikolai notices a vent in the ceiling. Maybe he can escape that way. Interior control room, evening.
Their best response time is 19 minutes. They'll be late.
Exterior Russian airbase, evening. 3 pilots sprint to their aircraft while an alarm sounds. Interior control room, evening. Maxim decides to check the kitchen. He notices some spilled coffee. He bends down and touches it, still hot. He spots the open vent in the ceiling and fires at it. Meanwhile, Uramov secures the Goldeneye and keys inside a briefcase. Both walk out.
It's clean. I had to ventilate someone.
We see a digital timer counting down. Space! The satellite moves into position. Exterior facility, evening. Maxim and the general load into the chopper and take off. Exterior airbase, evening. 3 MiGs take off. Exterior MI6 building, night. We see the MI6 building as a double-decker bus passes. Interior Moneypenny's office, night. Bond makes her way to Mr. Moneypenny's office. He's inside wearing an elegant black suit. Jane loves this.
Good evening, Moneypenny.
He looks up and sees Jane standing in the doorway.
Good evening, Jane. And we'll meet you in the Situation Room. I'm to take you straight in.
He walks past her. She watches.
I've never seen you after hours, Moneypenny. Lovely.
Thank you, Jane.
Out on some professional assignment? Dressing to kill?
They start to walk down a hall.
I know you'll find this crushing, 007, but I don't sit at home every night praying for some international incident so I can run down here all dressed up to impress Jane Bond. I was on a date, if you must know, with a lady. We went to the theater together.
He presses a few buttons.
Moneypenny. I'm devastated. What would I ever do without you?
As far as I can remember, Jane, you've never had me.
The elevator stops and they step out. Bond moves in closer.
Hope springs eternal.
You know, this sort of behavior could qualify as sexual harassment.
Really? What's the penalty for that?
Someday you have to make good on your innuendos.
Another door slides open. Jane keeps staring at him.
After you, Moneypenny?
No, I insist. You first.
Bond walks through the door into Interior Situation Room, night. Common Situation Room. Satellite photo on the wall. Computers, monitors everywhere. Betty Tanner approaches Bond.
Good evening, Miss Bond.
Tanner, what's up?
16 minutes ago, we intercepted a distress call from a supposedly abandoned radar station at Severnaya. Look what the satellite picked up.
We see a satellite photo on a computer monitor. Pictured is what looks like a bird's eye view of a helicopter. They zoom in on the image.
We found a match. Your missing tiger.
The computer does a scan of the aircraft.
In the middle of northern Russia.
Seems like your hunch was right, 007. Too bad the evil king of numbers won't let you play it.
Bond clears her throat, signaling that he's right behind her. Tanner cringes and turns around, slowly. There's M, a man with short gray hair, face as hard as stone, and a disposition to match.
You were saying?
No, I was just,
Good. Because if I want sarcasm, Miss Tanner, I'll talk to my children, thank you very much. Good evening,
Good
007.
evening, M.
The Prime Minister's waiting for an update. Proceed with your briefing, Miss Tanner.
You. After the distress signal, your helicopter took off, and the Russians scrambled these 3 MiGs here to intercept
She walks to the
it.
satellite photo on the wall.
What do you think the Russians were using the base for?
Well, at one point, we suspected that Severnaya might be a ground station for a secret space-based weapon system called Goldeneye, but
Our statistical analysis saw they had neither the finance nor the technology to implement it.
Numbers were never my strong suit.
M just stares at her.
Are these pictures live?
Tanner starts to say something when...
Unlike the American government, we prefer not to get our bad news from CNN.
Exterior Russian sky, night. The 3 MiGs soar through the sky at Mach 2. Interior Severnaya, night. Kitchen. We see a cabinet door open. A pair of eyes peek out. Nikolai crawls out. Exterior Russian sky, night. The MiGs do a flyby of the Severnaya facility.
Negative so far. Everything seems normal.
Interior Severnaya, night. Nikolai stands among the bodies of his late co-workers. An alarm sounds. Time to target, 3, 2, 1. Oh, crap. Space! The satellite gives off a blinding light, and a pulse surges. Exterior Severnaya, night. A surge ripples through the ground, and the dish begins to short circuit. Interior Severnaya, night. Electrical explosions fill the room, and Nikolai runs and dives under a metal staircase. Interior MI6 Situation Room, night. The satellite picture on the wall fizzles out. Nothing but static.
Well, what the bloody hell was that?
M is deep in thought. Exterior Russian sky, night. The MiGs start to short circuit. All the controls go haywire. The pilot screams. The jet goes down. Two explode in midair. The third is still careening toward the dish. It crashes and explodes. Interior Severnaya night. A pipe breaks right next to Nikolai's head. He leaps up from his hiding place, screaming. He trips on a body and falls. Above him, the rig holding a bunch of TV monitors come crashing down and stops just before crushing him. Exterior Severnaya night. The dish is still exploding. Interior Severnaya night. Nikolai covers up Anatoly with a cloth. He's crying now as he walks to the little voice ID box in the hallway.
Nikolai Fyodorovich Simonovich.
The bars don't move.
Nikolai Fyodorovich Simonovich.
He hears creak above him. He looks up and walks away. The dish comes crashing down through the roof. Nikolai's really scared now, but... Exterior Severnaya night. Nikolai climbs out of the newly revealing exit. From afar, we see him, surrounded by fire.
Olga? Olga!
Interior MI6 Situation Room, night. Tanner's on the phone.
Thanks.
She hangs up.
Our satellite's knocked out. So are two of the Americans. We have another coming to range now.
The satellite picture on the wall comes back on.
Good God.
Two of the MiGs are down. They look at a monitor.
It looks like the third went into the dish.
M turns to Bond, who is still studying the wall.
What do you think?
No lights. Not one single electric light on a 30-mile radius. EMP?
Would account for the MiGs and the satellite.
And the blackout.
Tanner turns to M.
Electromagnetic pulse. First strike satellite weapon developed by the
The Americans and Soviets during the Cold War. I read the brief. Discovered after Hiroshima. Set off a nuclear device in the upper atmosphere, creates a pulse. The radiation surge destroys everything with an electronic circuit.
The idea being to knock out the enemy's communication before he, she, or they could retaliate.
So, Goldeneye exists.
Yes.
Could this be an accident?
No. The helicopter. If you wanted to steal the Goldeneye, it's the perfect getaway vehicle. Setting off the blast was the ideal way to wipe out any trace of the crime.
The Janus group?
They may have been involved with the helicopter.
She moves to a computer.
I know the Russian failsafe systems. You can't just walk in and ask for the keys for the bomb. You need the access codes.
On the computer, Jane zooms in on a small white object moving. It appears to be a person. It's Nikolai.
There had to be an insider.
She looks closer at the monitor.
And at least one person probably knows who it is.
Exterior Severnaya, night. Nikolai falls into the snow. He hears sled dogs. He runs toward them. We see a dog team. Interior M's office, night. M is on the phone.
Very well, sir. Thank you. Good night.
He hangs up and turns to Bond.
The Prime Minister's talked to Moscow. They're saying it was an accident during a routine training exercise.
007 is seated in a chair, hands folded neatly.
Governments change, the lies stay the same.
M walks around from behind his desk.
What else do we know about the Janus Syndicate?
Top flight arms dealers headquartered in St. Petersburg. First outfit to reach north the Iraqis during the Gulf War. Their head woman is unreliably described, no photographs. The man on the top is our only confirmed contact.
Would you care for a drink?
Thank you. Your predecessor kept some cognac in the top drawer.
No, I prefer bourbon.
He pours the drinks.
Ice?
Yes.
He hands a glass to her.
We pulled the files on anyone who might have access or authority at Severnaya. Top name on our list is a friend of yours, I understand.
He sits at his desk and presses a button. A screen in back of him appears with Uramov's ugly face on it.
Uramov. They made her a general.
She sees herself as the next eye woman of Russia, which is why our political analysts rule her out. She doesn't fit the profile of a traitor.
Bond is a little annoyed.
Are these the same analysts who said Goldeneye couldn't exist? Who said the helicopter posed no immediate threat and wasn't worth following?
You don't like me, Bond. You don't like my method. You think I'm a accountant, a bean counter, more interested in my members than than your instincts.
The thought had occurred to me.
Good, because I think you're a sexist, misandrous dinosaur, a relic of the Cold War whose girlish charms, though wasted on me, obviously appealed to the young men I sent out to evaluate you.
Bond takes a sip of her drink.
Point taken.
Not quite, 007.
He's got her attention.
If you think for one moment I don't have the balls to send a woman out to die, your instincts are dead wrong. I have no compunction about sending you to your death, but I won't do it on a whim, even with your cavalier attitude toward life.
He leans forward on his desk.
I want you to find Goldeneye, find who took it, what they plan to do with it, and stop it. And if you should come across Oromov, guilty or not, I don't want you running off on some kind of vendetta. Avenging Alex Trevelyan will not bring her back.
You didn't get her killed.
Neither did you. Don't make it personal.
Never.
She finishes her drink and gets up. She's had enough of this.
Bond?
Jane turns. M smirks.
Come back alive.
Exterior St. Petersburg Square, day. A band plays in a square outside the Winter Palace, the residence of the Russian Tsar until 1918. Interior building, day. Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin watches the band marching from a window. A serious looking lady. She glances at her watch, then retreats back to a table with a board of counselors seated. There's a knock at the door. General Oromov enters and removes her hat.
Good morning, General Oromov.
Defense Minister Mishkin, gentlemen.
Please, deliver your report.
As this council is aware, 72 hours ago, a secret weapon program codenamed Goldeneye was detonated over Verona. As head of Space Division, I personally undertook the investigation. I have concluded this crime was committed by Siberian separatists seeking to create political unrest. Incredibly, the peaceful work and much-needed hard currency earnings of Verona have been set back by several years. Therefore, I tender my resignation.
The council makes some noise, shaking their heads. Yet, no.
Yet.
It seems the council does not want your head, Akada Gregoria. Merely your loyal assurance that there are no other Goldeneye satellites.
I can give you that assurance, Defense Minister.
And what about two missing Verona technicians?
I was aware only of the one, Olga Grashenko.
Mishkin glances at a paper.
There was a boy also, whose body was not among the dead. Nikolai Fyodorich Simonovich, a level 2 programmer.
I will investigate immediately, Defense Minister.
It would seem presumptuous, General, to blame this incident on Siberian separatists before the whereabouts of your own people are determined.
The council looks like a bunch of statues.
Do you agree?
Yes, Defense Minister. Thank you for bringing it to my attention.
That would be all.
The general snaps to attention and puts her hat back on, then exits. Interior Q branch, day. Bond makes her way to Q's test lab. The room is full of technicians working on all sorts of gadgets. Q herself wheels up in a wheelchair with the cast on her leg.
Morning, Q. Sorry about the leg. Skiing?
A rocket fires from the cast, exploding in a bright flash.
Hunting!
Across the room, a parachute discharges from a BMW. Q and 007 walk toward the car.
Right. Now, pay attention, 007. First, your new car. BMW, agile, 5 forward gears, all points radar, self-destruct system, and naturally, all the usual refinements.
As Q talks, Jane opens the car door. Blue BMW Z3 Roadster convertible. Jane proceeds to bug the technician working on the car. She is, of course, not listening to Q.
Now this, I'm particularly proud of. Behind the headlights, Stinger missiles.
Excellent. Just a thing for unwinding after a rough day at the office.
Need I remind you, 007, that you have a license to kill, not to break the traffic laws?
I wouldn't think of it.
Good. Right. Now, let's get on to more practical methods.
They walk to a table. Bond disappears off screen. Q picks up a belt.
A typical leather belt. Female size 34. Buckle? Notch.
We see Bond now. She's playing with a laptop laptop, not listening.
Are you finished?
Jane quickly closes the laptop, pauses.
Yes?
Good. A typical leather belt.
Q, I'm familiar with that device.
Not one with a 75-foot rappelling cord built into the buckle. Fire and out shoots a patong followed by a high tensile wire designed to support your weight.
I see. And what if I need to support additional weight?
It's tested for 007.
Behind them, a guy in a white lab coat enters the phone booth, an egg plate, trapping the guy inside. Bond and Q couldn't care less. Q picks up an envelope Bond has been carrying with her. An X-ray of the envelope appears on a monitor. Looks like a plane ticket. British Airways.
Flight 878 to St. Petersburg.
Q taps a mirrored table.
X-ray document scanner.
She takes out a clicky pen.
A pen. This is a class 4 grenade. 3 clicks arms the 4-second fuse. Another 3 disarms it.
As she talks, Q demonstrates the clicks. Bond grabs the pen and clicks it 3 times.
How long did you say the fuse was?
Q grabs it back and disarms it.
Oh, grow up, 007.
Who said the pen was mightier than the sword?
Thanks to me, they were right.
Q walks toward a test dummy while the man stuck in the telephone booth is being wheeled away.
Look, let's ask Fred here to demonstrate it for us.
She clips the pen in Fred's pocket as the guy trapped in the phone booth is wheeled away.
Here we are. Sorry about this, Fred.
Q clicks the pen 3 times.
1, 2, 3.
She cowers with her hands over her ears while Jane looks on. Fred explodes, of course, his top half scattered around the room.
Don't say it.
The writings on the wall?
Along with the rest of it.
Bond smirks.
Now, 007, do try and...
Q is interrupted by a technician being launched across the room by a blast of air. Nothing interesting to these guys. Bond picks up a sub sandwich and begins to inspect it, looking for knives to shoot from it or something.
Do try and return some of this equipment in pristine order.
Q notices what Jane is doing.
Don't touch that.
Q grabs the sub.
That's my lunch.
Exterior runway, day. A British Airways jet touches down on the runway in St. Petersburg, Russia. Exterior airport. Exit, day. Bond walks from the terminal and spots the girl he's looking for. Big woman with a stupid fur hat and a trench coat. Name's Jill Wade, 007's CIA counterpart. Bond approaches her and ventures at casual conversation, otherwise known as code to establish alliance.
In London, April's a spring month.
Oh, yeah? And who are you, the weatherman? And for crying out loud, another stiff-ass Brit. Your secret codes and your passwords. One of these days, you guys are going to learn to drop it. Come on, my car's over there.
Bond is a little annoyed. This girl's got a chip on her shoulder the size of a 2x4. They cross the street to a little blue car box thing. Bond opens the door.
After you?
Thank you.
Jane whips out her Walther, jamming it into Wade's chest.
Like you said, drop it.
All right. In London, April's a spring month, whereas in St. Petersburg, we're freezing our butts off. Now, is that close enough for government work?
No. Show me the rose.
Oh, please, no.
Bond slams the gun harder.
All right, all right.
Wade partially drops her pants, showing a tattoo of a rose with the word Duffy above it. Bond looks at it.
Duffy?
Third husband. Jill Wade, CIA.
Jane Bond, stiff-ass Brit.
That's a nice move.
Nice car.
Well, he hasn't let me down yet. He's like a little bitch, but he gets you there. Hey, Bond, you do any gardening?
Exterior train station, day. Nikolai appears getting off a train and looks behind his back like he's being followed. He only sees 2 Russian soldiers. Exterior plaza, day. The little blue box that Wade calls a car is sitting in the middle of a square with smoke coming from the engine. In the trunk, like the old VW Beetles. Wade's trying to fix it. We move in closer.
Can you hand me that wrench, Janie?
Jane picks up a wrench and hands it to Wade.
So, what do you know about Janice?
Zilch. No one's ever seen her. But the woman It's connected up the gazoo. KGB, military, screwdriver.
Jane picks up a screwdriver from a pile of tools.
Rumor has it she lives on one of those old Soviet missile trains, that armored stuff they used to run around the country in so we couldn't target them.
Wade stands up.
You want to hand me that hammer, Janie?
Bond picks up a hammer.
No, the bigger one, the sledge.
Bond picks up a sledgehammer.
Anyways, to tell the truth, you don't find this girl, she finds you.
Wade proceeds to hammer the screwdriver gently into the engine.
Hell, it's all Russian mafia. The best I can do is point you in the direction of her competition.
Wade whacks the engine hard with the sledgehammer, and it roars to life. Bond smirks.
Who is the competition?
An ex-KGB chick. Tough mother. Got a limp on her right leg. Named Zukovsky.
Valentina Dimitrova Zukovsky.
Yeah. You know her?
I gave her the limp.
Exterior IBM building, day. Nikolai walks up to a building with a familiar IBM logo on it. He enters. Interior IBM building, day. He walks inside and locates the manager in a room marked no access, carrying a CPU. He knocks on a door to get the guy's attention. He puts the CPU down.
Yes?
Are these all you have?
He looks around the room at about 10 to 15 computers.
How many do you want?
He reads from a paper.
24 for the American school, 11 for the Swedish, IBM compatible with 500 megahertz drives and 34 modems.
The clerk is surprised.
You pay dollars?
Of course.
If Sir would require a demonstration.
Sir requires a demonstration, modem, and a quiet place to test it.
The manager shows him into a back room. Interior Olga's computer lab. In an unknown location, we see a screen with Olga's program. Incoming email. Olga turns around wearing a sweater with the peace sign on it. Funky. She sees who the mail is from.
Nikolai!
Types, I thought you were dead. Interior IBM back room, day. Nikolai is seated at a PC. He types, Urmov killed everyone. Fired Petya. Took Goldeneye. The manager bursts into the room, startling Nikolai.
Is everything satisfactory?
Everything except the interruption.
She leaves. Interior Olga's computer lab. Olga types, you aren't safe. Trust no one. Meet me at Our Lady of Smolensk in an hour. Interior IBM back room, day. Nikolai gets the message, smiles. Exterior bridge, day. The little blue box Wade calls a car drives across a bridge.
All right, let me get this straight, Janie. You shot her in the leg. You stole her car. You took her guy. Now you want Valentina Zukovsky to set you up with Janice?
Exterior Valentina's club, day. The car pulls up.
Yes.
Well, what are you going to do? Appeal to her heart?
No. Her wallet.
Oh, now that might work. Right, showtime.
The car stops and we see Wade and Bond both inside. They see two Russians by a car.
Valentina operates out of building 23. There. You sure you want to do this? The last guy who dropped in uninvited went home air freight in very small boxes.
Make sure they send me home first class.
Bond gets out of the car. Exterior church, day. Nikolai walks up to Our Lady of Smolensk, a church. Interior church, day. He walks inside. Quiet. Very quiet. He waits. Looks for Olga. He spots a suspicious-looking figure in a black cloak, praying. The heavy doors suddenly close by themselves, almost blowing out some candles. Nikolai runs, totally freaked out, back down the aisle. The figure looks at him. It's just an old man. Around the corner, she runs into Olga. He screams.
Nikolai, it's me. It's Olga. It's Olga. Hello.
Maxim walks up from behind Nikolai. Interior Valentina's club, day. Valentina, a big gal with a limp, walks across her nightclub, zips up a random man's fly. She talks to herself.
Another morning shot to hell. Free market economy. I swear it will be the end.
Suddenly a gun is cocked to her head. We see it's Bond's Walther.
Walther PPK. 7.85 millimeters. Only 3 women I know use such a gun. I believe I killed 2 of them.
We pan to the right.
Lucky me.
Another gun presses against Jane's head.
I think not.
On a stage, a few guys attempt to sing Stand By Your Man really badly. It sounds like someone set a CD player on fire. But a few women in the audience stay interested, mainly because of the skimpy costumes. Bond is being escorted by 2 henchmen. They throw her on a couch. Valentina sits on a chair in front of her.
Jane Bond. Charming, sophisticated, secret agent. Shaken, but not stirred.
The Russians laugh.
I see you haven't lost your delicate sense of humor, Valentina. Or your need for an audience. Who's strangling the cat?
Valentina looks quizzically where Bond is gazing.
Strangling a cat?
We see the lead singer practically howling Stand By Your Man. Valentina whips out a gun and shoots the couch right between Jane's legs.
It's Ilya. My boy toy.
Very talented lad.
Valentina yells to his boy toy.
Ilya, take a hike.
Ilya shuts up and does the censored version of the finger.
So, Miss Bond, what is it that brings you to my neighborhood? Still working for MI6, or have you decided to join the 21st century? I hear the new M is a man.
I want you to do me a favor.
After the odd conversation, the big Russians laugh.
She wants me to do her a favor. My knee aches every single day. Twice as bad when it's cold. Do you have any idea how long winter lasts in this country? Tell her, Dimitra.
Well, it depends.
Shut up. Silence.
For an ex-KGB agent, you surprise me, Valentina. Surely someone of your stature must have realized this skill was not to hit your knee, but to, miss the rest of you.
Oh, so why did you not kill me?
Call it professional courtesy.
Valentina reaches for her gun again.
Then I should extend you the same courtesy.
Valentina shoots to Bond's right leg. Misses. Left leg. Misses again. Valentina aims in between. That's a little too close for comfort for Jane.
Karov's funeral parlor, 4 o'clock this afternoon.
Interior Valentina's office. Day. Bond is seated. Valentina fixes a drink.
200 pounds of C4 explosives hidden in a casket. Your woman drives the hearse in, the money's exchanged. Their woman drives the hearse out. Their woman will be arrested with the explosives. Your woman will make a miraculous escape with the money. Your money.
Valentina sits at her desk.
And what do I owe for this accommodation?
I want you to set me up with Janice.
Oh, and what has she done to deserve you?
Stole a helicopter.
I have 6.
3. None that fly.
Who's counting?
These aren't criminals, Valentina. They're traitors. They used the chopper to steal a nuclear weapon, killed a lot of innocent Russians doing it.
What do you expect from a Cossack?
Who?
This Janice. I've never met the woman, but I know she's a Lien's Cossack.
Group that worked for the Nazis against the Russians, Second World War.
You know your history, Miss Bond. At the end of the war, the Lien's Cossacks surrendered to the British in Austria, believing they would join your government and wage war against the communists. But the British betrayed them, sent them back to Stalin, who promptly had them all shot. Women, children, families.
Not exactly our finest hour.
Still, ruthless people. They got what they deserved.
I want you to set me up with Janice. Tell her I'm asking about the chopper and meet me tonight at the Grand Hotel Europe.
And then you and I are even, and she owes me one.
Precisely.
Interior pool area. Night. We see a shadow moving through the pool water. Jane surfaces right in front of the camera, then pushes off the side of the cement pool floating on her back. Nice pool, circular, with huge pillars around it. We see a door open and someone walks in, circling the pool. Jane is still floating peacefully with her blue eyes closed when she notices someone's watching her. She climbs out of the pool. She grabs a towel, and then she grabs her Walther. Jane pulls the person by the arm, pulling them into a steam room. She aims the gun at Maxim, wearing only a loose-fitting robe. Jane is a little interested. Her chiseled body is still soaked, hair slicked back, looking sexy.
You don't need the gun, Commander.
That depends on your definition of safe sex.
He comes at her, really close, her only weakness.
That's close enough.
Not for what I have in mind.
They kiss. Jane tosses the gun on a massage table. He pulls away, with her lower lip clenched in his teeth. Bond flinches and pushes him to the wall. He gasps and moans erotically.
Oh.
He touches her lip. A little blood, but enough to piss her off. She goes for the gun. Maxim kicks her to the ground before she can get it. He jumps on top of her. She rolls on top of him. Yada, yada, yada.
You think you can hurt me?
Jane gets off of him and goes for the gun again. Maxim pushes her into the massage table and jumps on her. Normally, Bond would love this, but he's crushing her ribcage. He's loudly orgasming like Meg Ryan.
Oh my God!
Tries to pry the legs off her torso. She gets up, with Maxim still hanging on with his legs, and slams him against the wall.
You think you can break me?
They kiss again wildly. He squeezes harder. Bond's eyes pop open and she runs, slamming Maxim into another wall. He screams in ecstasy and she slams him over and over again.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
She sits him on the steam grate. He screams in pain now. Another guy has heard the screaming and Bond swiftly knocks him out. He flips Maxim over his shoulder, finally off of him. Now he gets the gun and aims it at him.
No, no, no. No more foreplay.
He cocks the gun.
Take me to Janice.
Bastard!
Exterior statue junkyard, night. A gray Mercedes pulls up to a junkyard littered, not with garbage, but with hundreds of old stone statues from before the fall of the Iron Curtain. Very eerie. Interior Mercedes, night. Maxim's at the wheel. Bond is in the back, covered in shadow, pointing a gun at Maxim.
This is it?
Yes.
She leans forward, puts the gun away.
Well, I must say, I've had a lovely evening. You?
Once again, the pleasure was all yours.
You'll understand if I don't call.
Oh, I won't lose sleep over it.
She suddenly whacks him in the back of the head, knocking him out.
Sweet dreams.
Exterior junkyard, night. 007 steps out of the car and spots the Tiger helicopter. She draws her gun. Bond's eyes start to play tricks on her. She aims the gun at someone. No, a statue.
Hello, Jane.
Bond whips the gun around at the voice. Sounds familiar. A dark shadow walks out from what's left of the building. 006 steps into the light. His face is badly scarred on the right side. Bond stands there, frozen in place.
Alex?
Back from the dead. No longer than just an anonymous star on the memorial wall at MI6.
Bond is still frozen, her blue eyes wide.
What's the matter, Jane? No glib remark, no pithy comeback.
Why?
Alex laughs.
Hilarious question, particularly from you. Would you ever ask why? Why we toppled all those dictators, undermined all those regimes, only to come home, well done, good job. But sorry, old boy, everything you've risked your life and limb for has changed.
It was the job we were chosen for.
Of course you'd say that, Jane Bond, His Majesty's loyal terrier, defender of the so-called faith.
007's had enough. She raises her gun.
Oh, please, Jane, put it away. It's insulting to think that I haven't anticipated your every move.
Bond relaxes her arm.
Yes. I trusted you, Alex.
Trust. What a quaint idea.
How did the MI6 screening miss that your parents were Leon's Cossacks?
Once again, your faith was misplaced. They knew. We're both orphans, Jane. While your parents had the luxury of dying in a climbing accident, mine survived the British betrayal and Stalin's execution squads. But my mother couldn't let herself or my father live with the shame of it. MI6 figured I was too young to remember. And one of life's little ironies, their daughter goes to work for the government who caused a mother to kill herself and her husband.
Hence, Janus, two-faced Roman god, come to life.
It wasn't God who gave me this face. It was you.
Am I supposed to feel sorry for you?
No, you were supposed to die for me. And by the way, I did think of asking you to join my little scheme, but somehow I knew 007's loyalty was always to the mission, never to her friend. Closing time, Jane. Last call.
Bond goes to raise her gun, but a quick shot is fired. A tranquilizer hits her neck, and Bond collapses. We see a sniper in the background reveal her position. Alex stands over Jane.
For England, Jane.
Interior Tiger cockpit, night. Jane wakes up and finds herself inside the cockpit of the helicopter. There's someone behind her. It's Nikolai, screeching.
Wake up, lady! Ah! Wake up!
I'm here!
Bond is totally awake now.
I'm here!
Hurry! Hurry up! Pull yourself together! We're gonna die!
There's a screen in front of her. Time to launch. Bond attempts to free herself, but her hands are tied too tightly.
Do something! You've got to get us out of here!
I'm a little tied up.
Time to launch, 19 seconds. She tries to hit the controls with her head. It's not going to work. The rotor is starting to turn now. Launch, 0. Bond watches the chopper's heat seekers deploy. 2 of them fire and trail back at them. Bond looks for the eject button. There it is. She tries to hit it with her head. Once. Twice. 3rd time's the charm. The rotors fly off and the entire cockpit ejects in the nick of time. The helicopter explodes. The parachute discharges, and they land safely on the ground. Bond finally gets the ropes untied, and she hops out of the cockpit.
The things we do for frequent flyer mileage.
She opens the canopy for Nikolai.
Here, let me help you. That's it. Mind your head.
She helps him out. He kicks her in the shin. He starts to run away, but 007 grabs his arm and tries to calm him down as the headlights shine on them. Soldiers pop out of the trucks, aiming their weapons. Nikolai finally stops struggling. Exterior square. Night, early morning. Jane and Nikolai are escorted to a building which could be anything from a jail to a government office. Interior interrogation room. Early morning. Jane and Nikolai walk into an interrogation room, handcuffed together. The sun is just starting to come up. Not much in here, just a barren brick room. A guard removes the cuffs and exits, the large metal door slamming behind her. Bond looks to Nikolai, who backs away to the wall.
Who are you?
No answer. She walks toward him.
Listen, I'm on your side. I'm here to help.
I don't know anything.
I don't believe you.
I don't care what you believe.
Look, they might be back for us any minute. You either take your chances with me or your fellow countrymen who killed everyone at Severnaya.
Bond is in his face. Being a tough girl, Nikolai pulls away from her.
I've never been to Severnaya.
Bond grabs his arm and looks at his watch.
Your watch has, frozen by the Goldeneye blast, and I'm willing to bet you're the one who climbed out of the dish to get out.
Who are you?
I work for the British government. The more you tell me, the more I can help you.
I said I don't know anything.
Then let's start with what you do know.
He sits on the table in the middle of the room.
My name is Nikolai Simonovich. I was a systems programmer at the Severnaya facility.
Go on.
Until they killed everyone.
Who? Alex Trevelyan?
No, I don't know who that is.
Who's the insider? Who's the traitor?
Olga Grushenko.
KGB or military?
Computer programmer.
There was no one else.
No, they're going to kill me, aren't they?
Trust me.
Trust you? I don't even know your name.
The door clicks open and the defense minister enters wearing a fedora hat. The following dialogue is delivered coldly, like 2 brothers fighting over the remote.
Good morning, Miss Bond. Sit.
She walks around the table and sits down. Jane and Nikolai do too.
I'm Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin. By what means shall we execute you, Commander Bond?
What? No small talk? No chit-chat? That's the trouble with the world today. No one takes the time to do a really sinister interrogation anymore. It's a lost art.
Your sense of humor doesn't slay me, Commander. I'm sorry. Where is the Goldeneye?
I assumed you had it.
I have an English spy, a Severnaya programmer, a helicopter stolen.
At least that's what some tracer in your government wanted it to look like.
Who was behind your attack on Severnaya?
Who had the authorization codes?
Russia may have. The penalty for terrorist is death.
And what's the penalty for treason?
Oh, stop it. Both of you, stop it. You're like girls with toys. It was Oromov. General Oromov set off the weapon, and I saw her do it.
Bond turns her head slowly toward Nikolai. Mishkin is pleased.
Are you certain it was Oromov?
Yes. She killed everyone and stole the Goldeneye.
And why would she do that?
There's another satellite.
Another Goldeneye? Thank you, Mr. Simonovich. You were saying something about the lost art of interrogation, Miss Bond.
Oromov barges in the room, visibly enraged.
Defense Minister, I must protest. This is my investigation. You're out of order.
Addo prattle. From what I'm hearing, it is you who is out of order.
Oromov picks up the PPK.
I've seen this gun before.
Put it down, General. Put it down.
Do you even know who the enemy is? Do you?
Gods!
Oromov quickly shoots a guard as well as Mishkin. Bond hits the deck, pulling Nikolai with her. Oromov slides out the clip, takes the bullets, slips the empty clip back into the gun. She thinks aloud.
Defense Minister Dmitry Mishkin, murdered by a British agent, Jane Bond.
She tosses the gun to 007.
Who was shot trying to escape? God!
Bond, who's still on the ground, pushes a chair underneath the general, knocking her over. Then Bond punches her and runs her into a metal pipe. A soldier comes into the room. Bond beats her up and grabs her weapon, then pulls Nikolai out of the door with her.
Come on!
Interior hallway, morning. Both of them run out of the door and up some stairs. Bond shooting soldiers as they run, sliding on the floor, the whole bit. To her right, left, more are coming. They flee through another door. Interior archive hall, morning. The pair run through a room on the second floor. Well, it's not really a floor, it's just a metal grating. Shelves full of boxes and old paper occupy the room. More soldiers are coming. Bond pushes a bookcase over, creating a domino effect we've seen in cartoons.
They're in the archives!
The falling bookcase barricades the door shut, cutting off Oromov and company.
No!
They take an alternate route. Bond and Nikolai look out a window at a lot filled with trucks and tanks. They run. Soldiers burst through another door. Nikolai is hiding behind a shelf when a few books fall over. The general knows their location now. The Russians are on the first floor, and they hear Bond running above them. The soldiers fire. Bond fires back, running in front of Nikolai. Bond and Nikolai stop, and she removes the belt Q gave her. She smirks.
Trust me. They
stand up and run, but Nikolai crashes through some of the loose grating right into Uromov's arms. Ah. She got him. It's too risky to try and save him now. Bond fires belt. Work! She swings across the room, kicks over a soldier, and crashes through the window into the back of a truck. Exterior backlot, morning. Jane jumps down from the truck and hides beside a tank. Bond's POV, Nikolai being carried off by Uromov. They get in a car.
Go, now!
It drives away, but two more trucks full of Russian soldiers enter the lot. Bond eyes a tank, number 343. The next sequence cuts back and forth from the tank to the car to the street, etc. Exterior streets of St. Petersburg, morning. Uromov's car speeds away, but behind it, a tank crashes through a solid brick wall. We see Bond poke her head out.
Faster!
The tank is close behind the car, cutting turns a little too closely. Uromov's car is slowed by traffic.
Damn! Go down the alley.
The car peels out through a narrow alley, a tight squeeze. 007 notices this too and ducks below. She follows, creating a much larger alley. Uromov takes a swig of her liquor flask. The two jeeps follow the tank, fly off into the water, exploding.
Use the bumper, that's what it's for!
So the driver continues. Bond takes a corner, but there are two jeeps in her way. She stops the tank. Bond moves forward. The tank catches up with the car in a square with a statue in the middle. Both vehicles run over anything in their path. Bond's headed right for the statue now, a winged horse. Yep, she hits it too. The bronze portion is now riding on top of the tank.
Go left!
They do! An archway looks like a little low. The statue gets caught in it for a second, hangs there, then drops on two pursuing police cars. The statue riding between them. Bond abruptly halts the tank and the cars collide with the backside of the tank. Bond looks back at the damage. Meanwhile, Uramov's car comes screeching to a halt near a black armored train, red star on the side.
Get out!
She pulls Nikolai out. Maxim jumps down from the train. Uramov pushes Nikolai aboard. Bond is just pulling up. He watches now, and we can see in her eyes that he's got an idea. The tank continues. The train lurches forward. Interior train, morning. Inside the train, Uramov brings Nikolai into a car with elegant furnishings. Alex is eating breakfast with an expensive silver tea set. She dabs her mouth with a napkin. Maxim sits beside her.
You brought me the perfect gift, General Uramov. You've made me a very unhappy woman.
Mishkin got to her before I could.
Bond is alive.
Uramov takes out her flask again.
She escaped.
Good for Bond, bad for you.
She eyes Nikolai and attempts to be a lady.
Take a seat, my dear.
He does. She walks behind him and kneels down.
You know, Jane and I shared everything. Absolutely everything.
She pulls back his hair from his face.
To the victor goes the spoils.
Exterior tracks, morning. The train travels down the tracks and Bond's tank pulls up in a tunnel. Interior train, morning. Alex tries to kiss Nikolai. He resists.
You'll like it where we're going.
Exterior tracks, morning. Bond's tank is still sitting there. The driver of the train notices the obstruction. Interior train, morning. Alex kisses Nikolai.
You may even learn to like me.
She kisses him again, full on the lips this time. He squirms and slaps her.
Bastard!
An alarm sounds.
Stay with him.
Alex and Maxim run to a monitor showing Bond's tank parked in the tunnel.
Bond. Only Bond.
Going to derail us.
Alex talks to the conductor with a radio.
Full speed.
What?
Full speed. Ram her.
Maxim's grinning. The conductor sounds a whistle. Alex and Maxim brace themselves for a collision. Exterior tracks, morning. The train speeds forward toward the tank. Bond fires the main gun, making the tank into a speeding fireball. Jane jumps from the tank, crouches in the bush. The train and tank collide, stopping the train in its tracks. Interior train, morning. It looks like an earthquake hit in here. Nikolai recovers from the shock and runs for the door. Uramov grabs him. Maxim and Alex are still on the floor. Alex comes to and tries to pounce on a gun. A foot pins it to the ground. It's Bond, pointing a machine gun at 006.
Why can't you just be a good girl and die?
You first. You second. Up!
Both stand up.
Situation analysis, hopeless. You have no backup, no escape route, and I have the only bargaining chip.
Where is he?
Yes, your fatal weakness. Uramov, bring him in. Lovely boy, tastes like strawberries.
I wouldn't know.
I would.
Maxim is licking his leather-clad fingers. Bond hears Uramov bring Nikolai into the room behind her, with a gun pointed to his head.
So, we're back where we started, Jane. The friend or the mission? Drop the gun, I let him live.
Uramov, what has this Cossack promised you?
Uramov is listening.
You knew, didn't you? She's a Lien's Cossack.
It's in the past.
She'll betray you, just like everyone else.
Is this true?
What's true is that in 48 hours, you and I will have more money than God. And Miss Bond here will have a small memorial service with only Moneypenny and a few tearful reciters in attendance. So, what's the choice, Jane? 2 targets, time enough for only 1 shot. The girl or the mission?
Kill him. He means nothing to me.
See you in hell, Jane.
Bond makes her move. She spins around and shoots Urumov, then turns and shoots at Alex, but she gets away. Armor clicks into place around the doors and windows. Bond runs to every door, plays with the roof, looking for a chink in the armor.
1-inch armor plating.
I'm fine, thank you very much.
He sits at a computer. Bond is still fiddling with the roof.
Olga, yes!
Bond brings her arms down.
What are you doing?
Olga is online, backing up her files. If I can spike her, I may be able to find out where they're going.
Bond has no idea what all that means.
Oh.
Well, don't just stand there. Get us out of here.
Yes, sir.
Exterior train, morning. The top of the train retracts to reveal a little Robinson helicopter. Interior train, morning. Bond is pulling up carpet, trying to find a place to cut through. Interior Robinson, morning. Alex and Maxim are seated in the chopper. Interior train, morning. We see the screen with Olga's program. An intercom sounds.
Good luck with the floor, Jane. I set the timers for 6 minutes. The same 6 minutes you gave me.
Interior Robinson, morning.
It was the least I could do for a friend.
She laughs. Interior train, morning.
What does that mean?
We've got 3 minutes.
She takes off her watch. Exterior train, morning. The little chopper flies away. Interior, Olga's unknown location. Olga is seated at a computer, twirling a pen around her fingers. Interior train, morning. Nikolai is sending a spike. Interior, Olga's location. Olga notices the problem, and she freezes. Interior train, morning. Bond is burning through the floor with the laser from her watch. Nikolai is trying to figure out Olga's password. But, no. Arse, no. Buns, no. Rear, no.
What else do you call your butt?
What?
It's Olga's password. She plays word games. It's what I sit on, but I can't take it with me.
Chair.
Like I said.
He tries it. Bingo! Starting search.
30 seconds.
A map pops up. A red line etches cities together.
She's not in Russia, Germany, Paris, London, Madrid.
25 seconds.
New York, Toronto, Chicago, San Francisco.
20 seconds.
Bond jumps on the floor trying to break it.
Mexico City, Rio, Miami.
Interior, Olga's location. Olga opens a large CPU and rips the circuit boards out in an attempt to cut the tracer. Interior train, morning. Bond finally kicks the floor in. She grabs his arm.
Come on!
Wait! She's in Cuba! Havana! No!
Disconnected search program.
Now!
She pulls him away, and they both jump down the hole in the floor. Exterior train, morning. They roll out from under the train and sprint away from the ticking bomb. The train explodes, and they fall to the ground. They sit up and watch the burning train. Nikolai turns to Bond.
Do you destroy every vehicle you get into?
Standard operating procedure. Girls with toys.
Maybe I should take care of our transportation for our trip to Cuba.
Bond puts her watch back on.
Our trip?
You know how to disarm the weapon?
Well, I suppose that depends on what kind of weapon you're talking about disarming.
She smiles and moves in closer.
Tell me, are there any other standard operating procedures I should be aware of, Commander?
Thousands, but I only pay them
They kiss.
lip service.
They kiss again. We fade into exterior tropical road day. Somewhere in the Caribbean, some island near Cuba. Palm trees and all. A blue BMW convertible vrooms down a dirt road. Bond's driving. Nice sunglasses. Nikolai is in a flowered shirt. She grins. He grins back.
My whole life I've dreamed of coming to the Caribbean. It's so beautiful. Not another human being in sight.
An alarm sounds in the car. A blue screen, a GPS tracking system pops up. There's something behind them. Nikolai looks up. A Cessna touches down on the road, right in front of the BMW.
What is it with you and moving vehicles?
The plane stops and the BMW screeches to a halt. Wade hops out with a loud Hawaiian shirt on. She's holding a bag. Bond and Nikolai get out of the car.
Yo, Janie. Brought a little gift from old, what's his name, Z?
Hugh.
Bond looks in the bag.
What are you doing here, Wade?
Wade is looking at some of the trees.
Banyan trees. Why, I'm not here. The CIA has no knowledge, no involvement. Absolutely nothing to do with your insertion into Cuba, if you get my drift.
Bond slips her shades into her shirt pocket.
Yes, I do. Perfectly.
Borrowed the plane from a friend of mine in the DEA. Now the Coast Guard and the FAA are both in the loop. You're cleared on our radar till 0600 hours.
Wade picks up a piece of paper in the plane.
Here's the latest SATCAM from Langley. Stay below 600 feet.
Nikolai studies the paper.
500 feet.
Who's that?
Nikolai Siminovich?
Nikolai Siminovich.
Russian Minister of Transportation.
Wade signals with her straw hat for Bond to talk with her privately. They move a few inches away.
Did you check him out?
Bond gets that look in her eye.
Head to toe.
Wade grins.
Right. So you're looking for a dish the size of a football field, huh? Doesn't exist. You can't light a cigar in Cuba without us seeing it.
I know it's here. It's a duplicate of Saranavia. Like your secret transmitters in New Zealand.
I've never been to New Zealand. How's she know about that?
What if I need backup?
Get on the radio. I'll send in the Marines. Anyway, hang a left at the end of the runway. Cuba's 7 miles on your right.
Wade walks up to the W.
Yo, Wade.
Bond tosses the keys to Wade. She catches them in her hat.
Just one thing.
Wade hops in.
Yeah.
Don't push any of the buttons on that car.
I'm just gonna go bombing around in it.
Exactly.
Yo, Jane, I got faith, but be careful. She knows you're coming.
Wade speeds away. Bond and Nikolai are left with the plane. Exterior beach, evening. Jane is sitting on a beach outside their beach house, deep in thought. Nikolai approaches her wearing a white bikini. For once, our 007 doesn't seem to care. Something's wrong. He sits beside her.
She was your friend. Trevelyan.
Jane glances at him. No answer.
And now she's your enemy and you will kill her. It is that simple.
In a word? Yes.
Unless she kills you first. You think I'm impressed with you. Your guns, your killing, your death. For what? So you can be a hero? All the heroes are dead.
Nikolai, listen to me.
How can you act like this? How can you be so cold?
It's what keeps me alive.
No, it's what keeps you alone.
He starts to get up, but she pulls him back down to a kiss. He pulls away, but then kisses her harder. We fade up on interior bedroom night. A fire burns brightly as we fade up. It's the bedroom of the place they're staying. We pan to the right and reveal Jane sleeping peacefully on the bed. Shirt off. Probably more, but we can't see.
Jane?
Her blue eyes open.
Yes?
Nikolai appears from beside her on the bed. Wrapped among the sheets, he rolls on top of her.
On the train, when you told them to kill me, and that I meant nothing to you, did you mean it?
She smiles. Slowly.
Yes.
Nikolai looks at her. Weird.
Basic rule. Always call their bluff.
Nikolai takes a pillow and playfully smothers her with it. Bond's laughing. They grin and kiss again, passionately. Exterior Cuba, sky, day. The little plane soars over blue water and up a cliff with dense vegetation. It is Cuba. Interior plane, day. Jane and Nikolai both dressed in camouflage screen, sit in the cockpit. Nikolai has a flight map in front of him, and he is telling Jane where to fly.
Turn 10 degrees south, bearing 184.
Yes, sir.
She laughs. They fly over a crystal blue lake.
Nothing. There's nothing here.
Let's make another pass.
They do. Bond looks out.
Maybe Wade was right. Maybe there is no dish.
She spoke too soon. A ground-to-air missile fires from the water and hits the wing of the Cessna. They're going down. Bond tries to land in the water. A little off. They're going to crash into the forest. She pulls both of their heads down below the windshield as the little plane skids off the surface of the lake and hits the trees, breaking what's left of the wings off. It finally slows to a halt. Exterior rainforest day. We see Bond's arm poke out of the broken windshield. They're alive! A bit shaken, not stirred. Nikolai appears to be knocked out. Bond kicks the door open. She carries him. Well, more accurately, she drags him out into the open. Yep, he's quite unconscious. She drops him to the ground and collapses on top of him.
Nikolai?
No answer. She rolls off him, lays on her back, and passes out. Time passes. We fade up on Bond's closed eyes. They open groggily. Yep, that's a Scorpion helicopter we see. So does Bond. A rope drops from the chopper. Bond attempts to get up, still dazed. We see a person slide down the rope. Bond's on her feet, still out of it. She stares at the person. It's Maxim. Well, who else would it be? Maxim's POV knocks Bond to the ground. He kicks her again, then pulls her by the collar.
This time, Miss Bond, the pleasure will be all mine.
He licks her face as he crushes her ribs again. Bond struggles in pain. Maxim does the orgasm thing. Nikolai has woken up. He tries to whack Maxim with a big stick, but Maxim is too quick. He knocks it to the ground and grabs Nikolai by the face.
Wait for your turn.
He bangs Nikolai with his forehead, knocking him out. Bond has recovered, and she clips the rope to Maxim's harness and uses the machine gun to shoot down the chopper pilot. The helicopter goes down, yanking the rope and Maxim along with it. He is pulled through the air, screaming, and slammed against the tree. He struggles for a few seconds, but falls silent. The chopper explodes in a bright flash, and our heroes duck to the ground. Bond looks at Maxim, dangling from the tree.
He always did enjoy a good squeeze.
Interior control deck, day. We cut to inside a large control room, its location still unknown. Shalvayan walks down the stairs, dressed in black. She walks through a glass door to where Olga is sitting in a station of computers.
Is the satellite in range?
6 minutes.
Prepare the dish.
No, it is too early. I'm not ready.
Do it.
Alex walks away. Exterior rainforest day. Bond and Nikolai push on through a dense jungle. They see a large satellite dish rising from the water, like the one in Severnaya.
No wonder we couldn't see it. Come on!
Interior control deck day. Alex opens the protective case and pulls the Goldeneye out. She faces Olga.
The world's greatest cash card.
Shalvayan hands it to an eager Olga, but doesn't take her hands off the Goldeneye.
It had better not be rejected.
Olga grabs it and slips it into the slot. Exterior dish, day. The lake water drains now and reveals the dish part of the satellite. Bond glances at Nikolai. Exterior outer space! We see the Goldeneye satellite in orbit. Interior control deck, day. Olga is playing with a pen. She glances at a monitor.
Misha is online.
A soldier approaches Alex and hands her a handheld video screen. Alex looks at it. We see live footage of Bond and Nikolai climbing down closer to the dish.
Kill her! The woman just won't take a hint.
Target coordinates?
Target is London.
Interior engine room, day. Gears grind inside an engine room, moving the antenna into position. Exterior dish, day. Bond and Nikolai notice the movement.
She's getting ready to signal the satellite.
How do you stop it?
The transmitter above the...
He is interrupted by gunfire. They duck. They dive into the dish. Travaillan's soldiers are still firing at them as they slide to the bottom of the dish. There's a drop in the center where all the water must have drained into. Bond stops himself, bracing her feet at the ledge of the drop, then catches Nikolai. He looks into the hole. We see a circular door in the bottom. Interior control deck, day. Olga is still seated at the computers.
Antenna in position.
Alex hands Olga one of the two operational keys. They slip them into their slots.
On my count. 3, 2, 1.
They turn them at the same time. The same map we saw in Severnaya appears on the wall-sized screen. A line moves to intercept London. Outer space! Misha moves into orbit. Interior control deck, day. Alex twists a red dial. Weapon armed.
God save the Queen.
Interior facility, day. Bond and Nikolai climb down a ladder below the dish into the facility. Every soldier is on alert. The good guys move around stealthily as the soldiers shoot out things in Spanish. Nikolai spots a console to the mainframe.
The mainframe computer.
Don't move.
She takes off. Jane shoots 2 guards with the Walther and hides behind a pillar. She notices Nikolai climbing down a ladder to the mainframe, despite her orders. 007 fires at the soldiers again. She takes out 2 funky-looking detonators, no doubt from Q. She arms them. Soldiers get into better positions, aim at Bond. Jane realizes he's outnumbered drastically. She slides the PPK across the floor and shows herself with her arms raised. A soldier shoves her against the wall, pats her down, looking for more weapons. Another soldier grabs her by the collar of her combat vest. We pan to the left, showing the detonators planted on a tank of pinkish, probably flammable liquid. We see the substance pouring out through a few bullet holes. Meanwhile, the soldiers are bringing Bond down the stairs to the control deck. We see Nikolai poke his head out from behind a tank. He runs back into the interior of the mainframe, day. Inside a room that houses a terminal for the mainframe computer, Nikolai sits down and begins to type. Interior control deck, day. The soldiers escort Bond to where Alex is standing near Olga. His former friend notices 007.
Jane, what an unpleasant surprise.
We aim to please.
Where's the boy?
No answer from Bond, like we expected one. Alex turns to her henchman.
Find him.
A few soldiers hurry to find him. On the table are things that were found in Bond's pockets. The Walther, a pen, that's Q's pen, and Bond's passport. Alex fingers through them. She picks up the pen. Of course, she knows it's not just a pen.
So how is old Q? Up to her usual tricks? The watch.
Bond sheds her watch. Alex compares it to her own. Slightly different.
Ah, a new model. Still press here, do I?
She presses a button. We cut to see the detonators disarm. The pink liquid is really starting to flood now. Interior mainframe, day. Nikolai is still typing at the computer terminal. Interior, we see loads of cash. Bond knows what's going on.
Interesting setup, Alex. You break into the Bank of England via computer and transfer the money electronically, just seconds before you set off Goldeneye, which erases any record of the transactions. Ingenious.
Thank you, Jane.
But it still boils down to petty theft. In the end, you're just a bank robber, nothing more than a common thief.
Well, that pisses Alex off. She stands up very annoyed. Interior mainframe, day. The soldiers have located Nikolai in the mainframe. He's almost done. They grab him, but he manages to click enter. Encryption in progress. Interior control deck, day.
You always did have a small mind, Jane. It's not just erasing bank records. It's everything on every computer in Greater London. Tax records, stock market, credit ratings, land registries, criminal records. In 16 minutes and 42 seconds, the United Kingdom will re-enter the Stone Age.
As she speaks, she circles Bond.
A worldwide financial meltdown. And also mad little Alex can set the world 50 years old.
Oh, please, Jane. Spare me the fraud. I might as well ask for all those vodka martinis that'll silence the screams of all the women you've killed.
Nikolai is brought into the room now. Alex glances at him.
Or if you'll find forgiveness in the arms of all those willing men, for all the dead ones you failed to protect. England is about to learn the cost of betrayal. Inflation adjusted from 1945. Welcome to the party,
Olga
my dear.
finally looks up to see who has just joined the party.
Nikolai!
Nikolai lunges at her and punches her in the face. She falls to the ground, cowering under the desk as Nikolai continues to beat her up. Soldiers finally pull him away. Alex smirks. Olga puts her glasses back on. She's still on the floor, twirling a pen nervously around her fingers. She gets up, visibly mad. We see now that she is holding Bond's grenade pen. Olga faces Nikolai.
Don't ever do that again!
This is not one of your games, Olga. Real people will die. You pathetic little worm.
Olga goes to hit him, but Alex grabs her arm.
He was in the mainframe. Check the computer.
Olga yanks her arm free from Alex's grasp.
He is a moron. A second-level programmer. He works on the guidance systems. He doesn't even have access to the firing codes.
She spoke too soon. An alarm sounds. Olga runs to a computer. Nikolai smirks.
Retro rockets! They're firing!
Space! Rockets fire from the satellite, moving it into the atmosphere. Interior control deck, day. We see a screen. Yep, retro rockets firing. Olga types away, twirling the pen with her right hand, clicking it a few times here and there. Bond watches the pen very attentively.
What the hell is happening?
We will have re-entry in 12 minutes.
Mission aborted.
It'll burn up somewhere over the Atlantic.
Deal with it.
He changed the access codes.
Then she can fix it.
Alex takes out a pistol and shoves it into Bond's jaw.
Go ahead. Shoot her. She means nothing to me.
Bond rolls her blue eyes.
I can do it. I can break his codes.
Then get on with it.
Olga types, twirls the pen, clicks it 2 times. Bond watches. Olga drops the pen. Alex is fed up. He points the gun at Nikolai.
Tell her now.
Olga stands up enraged. We hear the pen click 3 times. Bingo! 4 seconds.
Give me the codes, Nikolai. Give them to me!
Bond knocks the pen from Olga. Bond and Nikolai duck. The pen lands in the leaking pink liquid. Kaboom! Huge explosion. Bond and Nikolai break for the elevator. Interior elevator, day.
Can Olga break your codes?
Possibly.
Possibly. We have to destroy the transmitter.
By the way, I'm fine. Thank you very much.
Bond gives him a weird look. What? Interior control deck, day. People are on fire. Equipment is exploding. Exterior elevator, day. The elevator stops at a tower near the antenna. A guard watches the doors open, revealing Nikolai lying on the floor, his back to us. Where's Bond? The guard approaches him, and Bond drops down from the ceiling of the elevator. She slams the guard into the metal walls. Bond hands Nikolai the guard's pistol.
Do you know how to use one of these?
Nikolai slides the mag out, replaces the mag, cocks it.
Yes.
Good. Stand aside.
Bond runs across a metal bridge leading to the antenna. Interior control deck, day. Whoever's not dead is controlling the fire with extinguishers now. Alex walks to Olga.
How long?
2 minutes. 1 minute.
Alex yells to some soldiers.
Go!
I'm fixing it.
A soldier steps to Alex's side.
If she moves, kill her.
The soldier points a pistol at Olga's head. Exterior dish, day. Nikolai spots a helicopter. Exterior antenna, day. Alex runs to a cable car thing leading to the antenna. Interior control deck, day. Olga wipes the sweat from her glasses, typing in concentration. Space! The satellite begins to enter the atmosphere, turning red hot with friction. Exterior bridge, day. Bond sprints up the narrow bridge. Alex is close behind her on the cable car. Alex fires an assault rifle at 007. Bond hits the deck, fires her own automatic. Alex runs out of ammo. So does Bond. Alex reloads. Bond ditches the gun and runs up the bridge. Interior control deck, day. Olga is typing. Exterior bridge, day. Alex fires at the running 007, but misses her. Alex gets off the car and runs after Bond. She shoots again. Bond flies forward, doing a midair somersault down an incline, and continues. Interior engine room, day. Bond hops down into the engine room for the transmitter. Interior control deck, day. Send command. Olga cracked the code.
Yes! I am invincible!
Interior engine room, day. The gears start to move again. Alex finds Bond. They fight, evenly matched. Bond throws 006 down the stairs. Bond grabs a metal pole off the wall and shoves it in the gear belt. She runs down the stairs after Alex. We see the pole do its work. It's now stuck between 2 gears. Interior control deck, day. Antenna malfunction. Olga squeaks. Exterior dish, day. The antenna screeches to a halt. Bond notices some blood on a railing. Still fresh. She hears a clang of metal on metal, aims at the sound. Nothing. She jumps down into Interior, another room, day. Bond points the gun around, looking for Alex. Behind her, Alex swings down through the door and kicks 007 in the face. They fight again. 006 appears to be winning. Both seem to know the other's next move. Alex gets the chance to grab a gun. She aims it at Bond, who clings to a ladder, panting. Both are pretty beat up.
You know, was always better.
Jane kicks the lever just before Alex fires. The ladder he's hanging on drops down into the sun, very high above the dish. Both hang on for dear life, groaning as the ladder jerks to a stop. Exterior rainforest, day. Nikolai sees Bond on the ladder, in obvious trouble. Exterior ladder, day. Alex has run out of bullets. She takes out a radio, calls for the helicopter.
Alpha 1 to gunship.
Exterior rainforest, day. The helicopter pilot gets in the chopper.
Alpha 1 to gunship.
Exterior ladder, day. Bond starts to climb up the ladder. Alex starts to climb down. Interior engine room, day. The gears and things are catching on fire. Exterior ladder, day. Alex decides to slide down the ladder, definitely quicker. She hits Bond with her feet, who slips, but just grabs on to the last rung by one arm. Exterior rainforest, day. The chopper takes off. Exterior ladder, day. Bond looks down, way too far to jump. Alex places her foot on Bond's knuckles and stomps on it. Jane has no choice but to let go and lands on part of the antenna, only about 6 feet in diameter, held up by wires. She can barely pull herself up. Space! The satellite's burning up now in re-entry. Interior control deck, day. Olga is frantically shaking the monitor.
Speak to me!
Exterior ladder, day. Alex jumps down to where Bond is and grabs her by the throat, holding her over the side. The helicopter flies into view. Alex looks at it for a split second. Interior helicopter, day. Nikolai appears in the chopper and presses a gun in the pilot's temple. Exterior ladder, day. Bond uses the window of opportunity. She kicks 006 off her and flips her over the side. At the last second, she grabs Alex's foot.
For England, Jane?
Bond's icy eyes are that of a ruthless killer now.
No, for me.
And with that, she drops her ex-friend, now enemy. Alex hits the bottom of the dish with a sickening thud. Interior control deck, day. Olga is screaming at the top of her lungs, horror movie style. Space! The satellite explodes in the Earth's atmosphere. Exterior dish, day. Alex moves her head a little. His back is broken. Nikolai forces the helicopter pilot to fly closer to 007. Bond leaps and grabs hold of the chopper's runners. They fly clear of the whole facility. The antenna's gonna blow any minute. Kaboom! As the whole damn thing blows up and falls right on top of screaming Alex. Interior control deck, day. Olga jumps up triumphantly.
I'm invincible!
Just as she says this, liquid nitrogen tanks explode, freezing her into place. Literally. Exterior field day. The chopper lets Bond fall to the ground in a clearing. Nikolai jumps out and it flies away. He drops on top of her. She flinches in pain. He's worried and strokes her black hair from her forehead.
Jane, are you all right?
Bond recovers, flashes a grin, likes the position he put her in.
Yes, I'm fine. Thank you.
They kiss, happy to be alive. They roll over so Bond's on top. Nikolai grins.
Suppose someone is watching.
There's no one in 25 miles, believe me.
They kiss again. We hear a familiar voice.
Yo, Janie.
Jane is really startled. She flips suddenly to her knees as soon as she hears that American accent. It's Wade, in camo.
Is this supposed to be your idea of, coming through in a clinch?
It's the backup plan. Hey, I said I'd be here, huh? Yo, Marines!
Wade gives the USMC sign to reveal your position. About 35 Marines appear from nowhere, rising from the grass. Helicopters land around.
Maybe you two would like to finish debriefing each other at Guantanamo?
Bond looks at Nikolai.
You ready?
I'm not going on that helicopter with you.
Hmm?
No plane, no train.
She picks him up. He's still giggling. She gives us that grin again.
Darling, what could possibly go wrong, eh?
The helicopters load up and fly out. Jane Bond will return.
Wow.
We made it!
Oh boy.
So much narration.
You're
I'll try to love that.
Jamie.
You're amazing.
Oh my God.
Amazing.
Interior voice booth.
Interior base. Space!
Everyone is sweaty.
Yes.
Thank you everyone for tuning in.
Oh my God.
Oh,
These
wow.
movies are so much more fun with you guys.